Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. And it is the return of the William Hill Scottish Premiership for the 25-26 season. And I am here to give you my predictions for the upcoming season. So we're going to do this from 12th to 1st. And as always, when we do come to the prediction videos, it is only my opinion. I'm sure everyone has got their different opinions about how the season will end, but this is just how I feel that the season will go ahead. So please do remember to hit that like button. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button. And also, please do share out the content as well. There will be more Scottish content coming on this channel as well. And there will be some predictions for match week number 1 as well. I will be doing most and trying to do as much as I can. So there we go. So, starting things off, and we move to 12th place, and I think this team is going to get relegated. It is Dundee. Quite simple. Stephen Presley. Very strange appointment. I can understand why Tony Docherty was sacked. Dundee's form really plummeted last season, and it just didn't go well at all for Dundee. They brought in Dre Wright from St Johnstone, which I think is a really good signing. But it's more the outgoings I can see that could probably really hurt them. Lyle Cameron, obviously, to Rangers. Josh Mulligan to Hibernian, Joe Shaughnessy to Newcastle Jets, Jordan McGee to Motherwell, Scott Tiffany to Kilmarnock, Mo Silla to my club Livingston, of course. So I think Dundee could have a long season. They haven't started well in the Scottish League Cup. They actually got knocked out of the group stage as well. Really, really disappointing from Dundee. And will Stephen Presley last the season? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it could be a long season for Dundee. I think they were sort of there or thereabouts last season, potentially to be relegated. Managed to survive in the end, but I just think the loss of those players. Look, they've still got Simon Murray to obviously score the goals for them, haven't they? So that's going to be something that we will see what will happen with Dundee. But for me, I just think it could be a step too far for Dundee, and maybe it might be a good thing that they might go down, might regroup. But yeah, I just got a feeling this season is the season that Dundee do go down for me. So that is 12. Now, obviously, last season we did have two teams that actually went down from the Scottish Premiership. Obviously, St Johnstone finishing 12th and Ross County finishing 11th. And that team that did come back up into the Premiership from the playoff is my club, Livingston. And I think that they are going to finish 11th, unfortunately. Look, one thing, we're back. We're back. I don't think anyone expected Livingston to get back up at the first attempt. But we're here. We're here. And it has been another season of upheaval at the club. We have brought in Graham Carey from St Johnstone, Yannick Vanner from SKU Amstetten, Mo Silla, as I mentioned, from Dundee, Shane Blaney from Motherwell, Stevie May, permanent from St Johnstone, Connor McLennan from Ayr United. That is a really good one as well. Cammy Kerr, who is unfortunately injured, Zach Rudden, Lewis Latona, who has gone out on loan, Brooklyn Cabalongo as well, and Aidan Denham from Hearts, and also Adam Montgomery from Celtic. That is another one that has come in. And obviously Macaulay Tate as well. Look, last season was a really good season for Livingston. Really good season. We won the Petrovic Training Cup. We did beat Queen's Park by 5-0 in that final. And we almost, and I say almost, we almost won the title. They were very close. Came down to the very last game. We lost to Partick. Obviously, Falkirk did actually, but I think they beat. I think it was Queen's Park actually. They won the final day, if I seem to remember. But look, The pitch is different. The pitch is different. We've got a really, really different pitch this season, and look, I think it's going to be a struggle. But where I think we're sort of going to be really, really good, I think, is at home. Our home form has been very, very good. Look, last time we were in the Premiership, our away form did let us down. So you'd have to say that. But look, I'm really, really excited for the new season. I think we could claim a few scalps. We've done it in the past. I think we're going to have to at least beat the teams in and around us. But I just think this season in particular, I just don't think we will go down if we do finish 11th, because I think we've got that fighting spirit, we've got that togetherness as a squad, and the biggest thing for me before the start of the season was tying down Jerome Prior to a 3-year contract. He has been absolutely fantastic in the Livingston goal, and he will be needed to as well. And by the way, one to watch out: Robbie Muirhead. Robbie Muirhead scoring goals for fun in the Championship. I think he could have a good season ahead of him in the Scottish Premiership. But yeah, Livingston 11th, but surviving. I'm going to say that we do survive there as well. 10th place, Motherwell. Another season where they have a new manager. His name is Jons Berto Asku. Yeah, this is very, very interesting for Motherwell. Obviously, the biggest thing I think they need to try and do is keep Lennon Miller. There's been a lot of rumoured speculation where Lennon Miller's gone. He's been linked with Rangers, been linked with Celtic. He's even been linked with the Premier League in England as well. Sunderland are the latest team to have an interest in him as well. And there's obviously interest from abroad as well. Muller will try and keep him, then I think that will be really, really good. But again, they lost Michael Vimmer, and I think Motherwell fans are just a bit sick and tired of obviously all the upheaval. I think they want sort of a steady season, and I think when you look at Motherwell as well, they have struggled slightly. They have struggled quite recently, but look, they've got Ibrahim Said from Viborg. Elia Just, who's another forward from Horsens, Emmanuel Longello from Birmingham City, Lucas Fadinger from Reindorf Altrak. I'm not very good with names, obviously. Jordan McGee, obviously, from Dundee, and Elliot Watt from Burton Albion, and another loan in there as well. So, look, I think I look at Motherwell and I think they will be there or thereabouts, I think, to maybe trying to get into that top six. They might even be in a potential relegation battle. We just don't know what this new Belgian manager is going to be like in the Premier League. But look, I think the one thing they need to do, as I've said, is really getting Lennon Miller trying tied down to a new deal. Maybe he stays, maybe he goes. But look, I think the one thing is he's a very, very talented player, and definitely one of the finest players to come out of Scotland recently, as well. And look, I think Motherwell could be a bit of two sides. They could be in chances for a top six finish, as I've said, or they could have another season of struggle, and they probably don't want that as well. But yeah, 10th place Motherwell, might be wrong with that one, but yeah, time will tell whether that new manager can do well or not. And actually, another thing as well, can they keep Lennon Miller? I think that's a really, really important one as well. Another team who have now got a new manager, 9th place, I'm going Kilmarnock. Yeah, Stuart Kettlewell. Doesn't really end well from at Motherwell. Seems to have had a bit of a good lease of life at Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock did win all 4 games in the group stage of the League Cup. They also had Livingston in their group as well. Both of them went through as well. And Kilmarnock have signed really, really well. I've got to say, Max Striek. You'll recognise that player. Obviously played for Livingston a couple of seasons ago. As well, Scott Tiffany from Dundee. I think that's a really, really good buy. As well, Jamie Brandon. I obviously know about Jamie Brandon. Really, really good player. Captain of Livingston last season. He was excellent. So that's a very, very good Good signing as well. Marcus Dackers from Salford City as well. Look, losing Derek McInnes is a blow. I think Derek McInnes did a very, very good job at Kilmarnock. I think he had a really, really good way of playing. I think he had a good way of playing. But what I like about Stuart Kettlewell, he gets basically straight to the point. He will just tell you like it is. If you're rubbish, you're rubbish. If you're good, you're good. He doesn't take any rubbish from anybody, and I think that is a really good thing for Kilmarnock. And look, Robbie McCrory and Max Striek are obviously the two goalkeepers to have a wee go themselves. And look, I think obviously losing Gary Mackay-Steven, Bobby Wales, I think is the biggest one for me. Going to Swansea, I think he'll have a good way as well. Kyle Vassell as well, but I think Kilmarnock should have a good season. Rugby Park, obviously another plastic pitch as well. Obviously, from next season, plastic pitches will be banned, I think. And obviously, teams next season have to have a grass pitch if they are obviously on artificial surface. I think Livingston, Kilmarnock, and Falkirk are the other one. They're obviously on there as well. So, but no, look, I think Kilmarnock will have a good season, and I think Stuart Kettlewell is a good manager, as I have said. So I fully expect Kilmarnock to have a decent season. I did predict them to finish 10th last season, but I think they finished ninth last season as well. So I'm staying to my word, and I think they will finish in ninth place. But yeah, look, Bruce Anderson, I think he will try and get the goals there for Kilmarnock, and obviously Greg Kilty as well from St Mirren going to Killie as well. So good squad, and I think they will do very very well. So I'm going to go ninth place for Kilmarnock. Eighth place, and it is a return for Falkirk Football Club. Yes, first time in 15 years that they have been in the top flight of Scottish football, and I think they are on the bounce that Livingston had. Back-to-back promotions. It's been a very, very good time of it for John McGlynn. And Falkirk have brought in Scott Bean and Brian Graham so far in this transfer window. And look, they've obviously got a really, really good squad. Obviously, Calvin Muller, obviously a really, really good player for them. But I think the biggest thing is Scott Arfield. Scott Arfield coming in last season, really, really wanted to play for his boyhood heroes there, and I think he was pivotal for Falkirk as well. And I think Falkirk will cause a few surprises. I really, really do. I think they will do really well. I think they will cause a few surprises. Might give teams a real hard game at the Falkirk Stadium as well. One thing they will have to do is try and beat Livingston, because last season they did not even beat Livingston, so they will need to do that to to try and be better there as well. But look, I think Falkirk have a very good chance of doing very, very well. And again, as I said, I don't think they've really lost many players. As well, obviously, Adjaman, I think, is the one to watch for Falkirk. But then again, I think Calvin Miller as well. Ethan Horvath as well in goal. He was excellent for Falkirk last season in the Championship. I think he'll be needed this season to do very, very well. But yeah, Falkirk for me, eighth place, very, very good first time back in the Premiership. I'm going to go eighth for Falkirk. Seventh, St Mirren. Yes, big season of upheaval at St Mirren. No more than 10 players have gone into St Mirren. I'll just give you a couple there. Liam Donnelly from Kilmarnock. Killian Phillips is another one. I think he scored in the League Cup game against Ayr United today as well. And yeah, obviously Greg Kilty obviously going as well. They have brought in ex-Livingston goalkeeper Shamal George as well to be the potential number one for Sunderland. But I keep saying it, Stephen Robinson, great manager, great manager. I think he is a really good manager for them, and still again seems to be doing very well for St Mirren. I think when you look at St Mirren, they are a team that will be there or thereabouts for that sixth place. Obviously, finished seventh last season, or I think they finished eighth actually last season, and I think they do well. I think they do well to do that. But look, St Mirren for me under Stephen Robinson, really good manager, and I think if we're being honest with ourselves, I don't know how long he will be at St Mirren. I think there will be more sort of suitors for him. And I think St Mirren could be a team to definitely watch for sure for next season. But I do think they'll be there or thereabouts for the sixth place. But for me, just missing out on sixth place, I should say. So that is obviously the bottom seven now, and we'll move on to the top six. And this is where it gets very interesting because these places between third and sixth was really difficult for me to predict, I would say. But I have put in sixth place, and they were finished fourth last season, had a really good season, is Jim Goodwin's Dundee United. And again, not much in the way of sort of incomings for Dundee United. I mean, obviously they've had Conference League football to deal with. I think they won their first leg against that Assen. I think it was 1-0 to Tannadice, so obviously they'll be going away. So we'll see what happens as well. Look, if Dundee United get group stage football, that would be absolutely fantastic. It'd be really good to see. Just just be nice for the coefficient to be doing well. Obviously, Dundee United, Aberdeen, Hibs are the other three as well, and obviously Celtic and Rangers are the other teams in there. But no, Dundee United had a really good first season back in the top flight, finished from fourth, which was really good. Jim Goodwin did a fantastic job there last season. They have lost Declan Gallagher at the back, but still have the likes of obviously Craig Sibbald as well. And one player I think that's been really under the radar for me is Trapanowski. I think that's how you say it. He was really good last season as well. And look, Dundee United, I think finishing fourth was really good. Obviously we saw last season that obviously Hearts did struggle. I think we've got to say, but no, very good first season for Jim Goodwin. And look, I think Dundee United will have a good season. And it will be very interesting to see if they do make the Conference League. If they make the Conference League, that could possibly determine if they finish sort of seventh or sixth. But for me, just think they've got just about enough to keep them going. And look, Dylan Levitt is a really good player to look out for in that midfield. So I think Dundee United for me, I'm going to go sixth, but I do think they could be there or thereabouts between fifth, fourth, and third. You just don't know. You just don't know. But as I said, these positions I did pick were very difficult. So I'm going to put Dundee United in sixth place. Fifth place, Aberdeen. Now, when I do say Aberdeen are guaranteed some group stage football, could it be Europa League? Could it be Conference League? We shall wait and see. But obviously, Aberdeen do have their game in the Europa League playoff, so they've got to obviously qualify for that. If they qualify for that, then it's Europa League. But if they don't, then they're guaranteed Conference League. Aberdeen obviously got a Scottish Cup to defend as well. And I've got to say, I think Aberdeen are a very good side. We obviously look at the manager who came in last season and did a fantastic job. Aberdeen were magnificent to start the season. Kind of tailed away the end there, but no, we're getting a Scottish Cup to deny Hibernian group stage football was really good for Aberdeen fans. Look, Aberdeen winning the Scottish Cup was fantastic. And you can definitely say there was definitely the year of the underdog last season. You can definitely say that. So, no, I think Aberdeen should have a good season. And I think if they do get group stage football, again, just like Dundee United could could determine where they finish. It could really, really determine where they finish. I think the three teams that are in Europe at the moment, Dundee United, Aberdeen, Hibs, it could could be interesting to see where they all finish. But I'm going to go Aberdeen fifth. They finished obviously fifth there last season, but did win a Scottish Cup, so they do have a Scottish Cup to defend as well. But Aberdeen, good side, really, really good side, and yeah, long way to continue for Aberdeen. Fourth, now this is where it gets really interesting. I have gone for Hibernian. Now, I think Hibs last season were magnificent under David Gray. Sir David Gray, if you want to put it that way. And I think this season, if they do, they beat Midtjylland 1-0 in Denmark. Now, Midtjylland are no mugs. That's the one thing I can say. They are definitely no mugs. If they were to win that game, then they do potentially have Europa League football, and that would be fantastic to have under the lights at Easter Road. But again, have they got the squad to fight on all four fronts, really? Scottish Cup, Scottish League Cup, Europa League, and obviously the Scottish Premiership. That's where you're kind of wondering with these teams. And look, Jamie McGrath, I think, from Aberdeen is a really, really good signing. Obviously, they got Josh Mulligan from Dundee as well. And yet, Dylan Vente was another player who spent the season out on loan, but they managed to get £1 million for him, which was fantastic. So, look, Hibs will have a good season again. And I think the Hibs seem to go in a bit of a tendency to have a good season and then have a rubbish season. So hopefully it's a bit of the same. But yeah, look, I think if we're being honest, Hibs should have a good season, and I do think that they will have a good season. But just missing out on third place, because third place, I have got Hearts. Now, Hearts need to have a better season. Last season was completely unacceptable. Obviously, Neil Critchley out, Liam Fox out. They have lost James Penrice, but Darren McInnes is a really, really good manager for Hearts. I think he is going to get them playing. I think he's not going to take any prisoners at all, just like obviously Stuart Kettlewell at Kilmarnock, his successor. But one thing I will say about Hearts, they have a really good squad. And one of the players to watch for me is Claudio Braga. Plays in that sort of that number 10 role, scores a few goals already in the Scottish League Cup. Now, apologies for this pronunciation. Alexandros Kizaridis. This guy is in the top 5 of, I think, Greek players from last season, so there's no surprise that Hearts have obviously got him in there. And obviously Elton Kabangu is obviously another player that they have brought in permanently as well. Like, Hearts have no European football, so for me, there's no excuses not to finish third. Especially with obviously Hibs having European football, Aberdeen having European football, and now Dundee United having European football. I don't think there is any excuses now for Hearts to not finish third or even fight for third. Don't think they're quite at the stage of battling Rangers yet, but I'll tell you something, Darren McInnes has got them playing, and I think that they will have a good season. I do think they will have a good season, and yeah, Hearts have a very, very exciting squad. And I would say as well that some of the squad will probably have to go at some point, because it is quite a big squad. But from what I can gather, that Hearts are looking really, really good. So I would say Hearts definitely for third place. So we know who's going to be first and second, but which way is it going to be? Well, once again, I'm going to go Rangers. Yes, Russell Martin. I have my doubts about Russell Martin. Let's put it this way. Obviously, ex-Rangers player, of course. Southampton manager. Didn't really work out really for him at Southampton. But look, I think Rangers have brought well. Joel Rothwell, really, really good midfielder from Bournemouth. He's going to be very, very good. One player to really look out for is Jedi Gassima, who's obviously came in from Sheffield Wednesday. He will be very, very good. Theo Asgard from Luton Town as well. And I think Max Aarons is a huge signing. Absolutely huge signing. look, a lot of players have obviously, gone out. I think Robin Proper is probably the biggest one to go out. Obviously, Barry Ferguson as well, but just didn't really happen for him at Rangers with the Barry Ferguson. But I think the one thing we can say about Rangers is that they have got Panathinaikos away coming up as well. They did win their first leg, so hopefully they win the second leg. Hopefully they will win the second leg. They will be battling Celtic. There's no denying that for sure. But I think where they're going to sort of fall away is potentially the fact that the players that they've got in, it may take them time to gel. And is Russell Martin the manager you have faith in to try and battle Celtic and Brendan Rodgers? Yeah, I'm not so sure. But look, all the signs are there that he can do well. But for me, I just think they're gonna come up short again. Could they win the trophy? Look, I think the Rangers fans are just want a trophy. To be fair, if it's a Premiership, then that's fantastic. It stops the Celtic run. If it's a Scottish League Cup, they'll just be happy with a trophy, won't they? And obviously have a European Cup run as well. Either Champions League or Europa League. It just depends where they obviously finish. But no, I think Rangers will have a good season, but time will tell whether Russell Martin is the right manager for me, for sure. And that means that Celtic win the league again. There's just no stopping them. Kieran Tierney, obviously, I think is the biggest name to return to the club as well. Be interesting to see if they can make the Champions League. Obviously, last season they qualified directly to obviously the group stage. This season they're having to qualify through a playoff as well. They have lost Nicholas Kuhn. They have lost Greg Taylor as well. But look, for me, I just think Celtic have just got that little bit too much as well. Daisen Maeda, obviously, is a player to look out for. Still, there has been a bit of interest from England as well. Potentially, he could be on the way out. But look, I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what will happen there. And yeah, I just think Celtic just too strong. Just too strong. Um, but Celtic fans are not too happy about potentially the lack of signs that have came in. Really, I mean, I'm looking at this, and I think there's probably been about sort of 7 players really that have came in. Some are obviously for the future, some are obviously for now. Could be a really, really interesting season ahead for Celtic. But look, I think Celtic will have a good season ahead. And yeah, they'll be smarting away from the Scottish Cup defeat as well. I don't think anyone kind of expected them to lose the Scottish Cup, but they did. They lost on penalties to Aberdeen. But for me, Celtic too strong. I think they'll win the league. I'll probably say about 10, 15 points again. I just think they're too good. They're too good. It's theirs to lose. Let's just say it is theirs to lose. Maybe they get Europe as well. Be very, very good for obviously the coefficient as well. But I'm gonna say Celtic to win the league once again. So there you go, guys. There you go. There are my predictions for the predicted table of the 25-26 William Hill Scottish Premiership. As I said at the start of the show, this is only my opinion, so I'm pretty sure you have your own. Do you have Rangers to win the league? Do you have Celtic to win the league? Maybe if you're a Hearts fan or Hibs fan, maybe you have you guys third or fourth. And relegation, who goes down? Do you have Livingston to go down? Do you have Dundee to go down? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your predictions for the upcoming season. And as I said, it is only my opinion. But thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit the like button. Please do remember to hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.